What's up, everybody? Wanted to go through a quick video showing today's daily moves in this account. I kind of brought up in my X notifications that I had a big move with Pfizer. So Pfizer is obviously a big to-do with this account because it's my biggest position, and it's something that I've decided in 2024 I want to slowly accrue over time. Um, the dividend right now is about 5.94%. I'm obviously in a little lower because I've been buying all year. So you're looking at almost 6% on what I have invested. So if you look at the commons right now, I'm at 52.42 shares. I should have a reoccurring investment later this week, which I'm excited about because I want to get as many in before we go to the earnings report, which will be July 30th in the morning before the bell. On another video, we can look at charts, but you can really see that we could be potentially getting a golden cross. I think if earnings are decent, that will be the momentum it needs to push forward. And hopefully by the end of July, it's off to the races. So we'll see. If not, we just keep dollar cost averaging in. But as long as, like my options that I'm holding, the whole concept behind the year was I wanted to pay a little bit of premium up front. So it's $380 I paid for this 27.5 call that expires in January of next year. I'm sorry, January of 2026. So 2 years worth of time for this thing to move. We're up higher than when I bought it, but time is definitely kind of had its way with this return. So we're right now in a low. If we kept this going all year, we would lose the entire contract price. But I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. I really think 30 is probably fair value right now. We're gonna get there, hopefully in a month. But if we hit 30, we're already $100 up. I don't see this stock getting too crazy. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is repositioning this whole thing. And that is what kind of brought me to today's move. So, knowing that there's a good chance that on a pop, I'm going to sell this early, I wanted to push even further out into 2026. So the options chains for June of 2026 became available recently, and so I've repositioned into a spread. So I'll buy the 30, sell the 40s to bring that cost down a little bit. This Pfizer is not exactly a growth stock. It's just been so beat up since COVID, and it's $1 billion company. They're not losing money. They just get bad news. They either get sued or God knows what else has happened to these guys. They don't, like late to the game in weight loss drugs. So, that's just the way the cookie crumbles with these guys. But, I buy a contract for 2 years out. I'm 6 months into it, and we really haven't had that much of a move, which is fine. Like the whole concept is a longer dated option. And if you follow me, you'll see that a lot of my trades are longer dated because I just like to have time, to make decisions. It's just the way it is. Like I've been burned too many times on weeklies or things like that, just basically gambling. Where when I buy these contracts, I'm not buying 30 of them. I'm buying one. I'm buying two, enough that I can actually, um, own the stock if necessary. And that's kind of always been, my concept. So for the year, this one's kind of like I said, it's been all over. Early March, we had a little bit more in here, but it's fine. Like we'll keep on keeping on here. But yeah, so that was like a big move today with the position. The other goofy stuff we're doing, like over the weekend, I bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're kind of, God, this thing's like another one that's just been crushed for the last 3 months. But if you look at like 5 years, you can kind of see right around here is, right around 46. We're starting to see some areas where we might get a little bounce. God, I even wouldn't be surprised if we see it sooner than later. It's starting to make a little move up. So I ended up, $200, nothing crazy, but again, this whole transparency in this account is to show that nothing's crazy. Like, yeah, we take a couple gambles, but it's just consistently churning out, profit. That's the concept. If you look at, year to date, I've mentioned, brutal beating that I took, just playing spy calls and guessing what was going to happen. And so, I went down almost 15%, 14 and a half on January 22nd. And I was pissed. And I just said I wasn't going to do this anymore. I'm going to go back to the way that I know how to earn, which is selling calls, selling cash secured puts, averaging in, averaging down, slow but surely. And I mean, that's worked. I mean, I'm up, since that incident, we've made back the 14% and another, we're another 2-3% right now. That's 19% in a couple months. So that's, I think a lot of people would be happy with that for the full year. So the other, I want to keep this video somewhat short. So the other option, the other thing we did today was AMC liftoff today. I mean, it was up a massive amount. I think at one point I looked at it was like 13% on the day. 12, yeah, we hit like 13. So I got in right around like 50s, 40, I think, and then we sold a weekly for $20. Got that filled. It went up to 31 at one point, but then it kind of just died out. Obviously, it's just 1 week. My concept here is a $6 call. So my average on this stock was already in the sixes. So I just bought 77 shares today, got the 100. If this thing goes up to $6, that's another what, $50 on top of the 20, easy $70 to add to the collection here. I bought another 20 because is another thing I like to do is, like, once I sell a covered call, I try to buy either a fifth or a quarter of a full position, because so many times I'm so angry at myself for getting things called away because I was trying to make a quick profit. So I always try to buy a quarter or, a fifth of the position at that moment. And then that way I can either, if the price lowers, I'll get the premium on the covered call and I can average down and I can rebuild that position lower. And we'll go from there. So, everything's a gamble, right? Like, it's just, nobody knows what these prices are going to do. But it would be good to have an option, have a plan, stay with the plan. That's why, my options I don't need to make drastic decisions, because some of them are 3 months, 6 months. The premium accrues, and then if you want to roll, a short roll down, roll it higher, whatever you want to do, the options are always there. I also like cash secured puts because it just kind of keeps my money out of the market and available. So right now, I have secured puts on, what is this, Clean Spark? Is that what? This is my Bitcoin play. So it's like $1,600 that's just kind of on the sidelines. I don't know how the heck I got such a great return on this call. Yeah, I think it's like $200. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, if we get to 16 or over, I mean, it's like a $215 profit, which is crazy on a $16 stock. And even if it, if there's, we'll talk about this one later, but I might roll it down to 15 for later, or keep it as is, because Bitcoin right now is pretty low, and I don't really see it going much lower. Knock on wood. So I feel like any Bitcoin miner is probably a good play, because they've been crushed. So, like I said, it's always trying to find things that have, like they're not, the cat's meow right now, but eventually they will be. And that's when you want to start accumulating, is when it's low. So yeah, that's kind of what we did today. So yeah, I've only got like $26.73 available. I haven't really decided what I want to do. Like, I can either refund this to just do my reoccurring investments this week, or I can take more margin out, which I don't really want to do either of them. I'm hoping AMC kind of just does what I want it to do, get that money back out, and use that for the reaccumulating. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Yeah, we didn't really talk about some of this other stuff. I think I did post AstraZeneca. I'm not gonna accrue anymore until kind of maybe after the election. We'll see. I think healthcare is probably going to get crushed by both presidents, president-elect, former presidents. So it's just kind of an area that I'm kind of trying to stay out of, other than Pfizer. Obviously, I already have a massive position in that, but Uber, we're keep on keeping on here. Love it. I just think it's kind of stagnant right now. Palantir here has just been crazy. Who knew after it gets downgraded to $20 that it's gonna freaking go crazy? I've been selling. I have no interest in this stock over $30 right now. I think there's a lot of just AI taglines and just not a lot of substance to knowing what the heck's going on here. So I'm not saying I don't like it. It's one I'm going to play for a while. I just think that we could probably get in at a better price, or if some cash frees up, we can sell cash secure puts on this later, and start a position again. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We will be back and talk a little bit more tomorrow, and I might actually throw up a blog post as well about Pfizer and kind of what I'm seeing, or I need to do a video on charting, so that's kind of next. So yeah, that's where we are. Today's, we made all of $50 today. Woo! But we're up for the week. The week's not great. The month has been, we're up 1%, like nothing. It's just been very, which also makes me concerned that we might be like at a top, when we're not getting crazy. But I'm still happy with 10% in 3 months. Not bad at all. So yeah, let's get into Tuesday and have a good one out there.